Hey everybody, welcome back to Ginger Flicks. I'm Joey.
And I'm Josh.
And Josh, how's the week been? How have you been doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
It's actually been a pretty little bit of downtime for me.
Oh,
I'm okay with this.
That's kind of a good thing, I guess. Yeah. I've moved out to new digs, different area of town, so to speak. Well, different town actually.
Different time zone.
I don't know about time zone. Let's not get crazy. A little bit further away, but not too far. Not too far. But anyways,
in this three boats just to get there.
You gotta get your train on the water. Boat on the track.
Boats on the track, baby.
Train on the water.
I know.
The track. Yeah, exactly. So what movie did we watch this week with this craziness?
We watched not Independence Day.
No.
Not Starship Troopers.
No.
But we watched TheTomorrowWar, which actually I enjoyed. So
it was fun. It wasn't bad. Like I heard it wasn't getting a lot of good reviews or whatever, but I'm like, it's a typical action movie. What more do you want from it, right? Like I thought Chris Pratt was good. I found Sam Richardson to be fun. Even though he was like such a small role or whatever, but I mean, he works with it, right? The character works too.
He was which guy?
He was the scientist guy that hid, right? Like the development or whatever guy. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, the movie, the whole premise of the movie is that they travel to the future to fight these aliens because in order to save the human race, right, from complete annihilation. And I mean, the movie just does a good at least I found that the movie did a good job of like keeping the rules of time travel intact.
Yeah,
they kind of stuck with their rules of like, a week in our time is still like, if you travel back in time and you're there for a week, you can't come back to the time that you left.
Yeah, it's like a
week, right? It's
like it moves in real time.
Yeah.
It's weird because so many time travel movies, like I don't know how to say it, but it's like a lot of time travel movies or stories, they come back from the future like a week later, right? But they establish that you can come back at any time. So it's like, why do you have to come back? You know what I mean? Like this is any other movie. Where this one, it was like, no, you can't come back.
Yeah,
you have to live that week, and you have to come back a week later.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
Like, cool.
So
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I what did you think about just the whole premise of it? The fact that it was just sort of a version, I guess, of like Independence Day or Starship Troopers. I found it a lot more reminiscent of Starship Troopers than anything else, really. What'd you think?
I did too. Yeah, I think it was more on the lines of Starship Troopers in the sense that these, like, what was cool about it to me is that these aliens posed a threat. Like the aliens in Independence Day, the actual aliens, not in their ships or anything, they only killed and Data, right? From that guy from Star Trek. But even still, you find out that they didn't even kill him, I think, because in the sequel he comes back or whatever. I never saw.
He does. They just like knocked him out, basically.
You could,
yeah,
and you could kill those aliens with a few bullets. Like, wasn't even that much. Where these ones were vicious and people got killed. And I was okay, so the threat,
these guys were like as if they were armored, like they had their built-in armor, like they had like a shell on them. And the only thing, and they made a point to say the only thing that can hurt them are like shots to the stomach and the neck, because I guess the head is protected and pretty much anywhere else, right? Yeah, so that, I mean,
no, and I was cool with that. I was like, look, man, like they were scary.
Yeah, they
and I
were. I
was
mean,
they
the
were
the CG
fast too.
the CGI could have been a little bit better, but I mean, I feel like once they realized it was going to Amazon, I think they may have spent a little bit less on that stuff. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I feel like all that was done. Like it was the movie was finished. All they would have saved money on is like marketing or something.
Maybe. I mean, the benefit of having something on like Amazon or anything like that, it's become a lot easily accessible, right? So, the
Mm-hmm.
majority of people will be able to watch it or get it. And
Yeah.
I felt like for the longest time, like you thought that they were gonna waste J.K. Simmons until like pretty much near the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he's in the beginning for like 2 minutes, and then you don't see him until like the last 10 to 15 minutes of
Yeah.
uh of screen time, right?
Yeah. But I thought and man, like J.K. Simmons is jacked.
Yeah, he got
I was
like,
like,
yeah, he got big for that. Like,
but I'm pretty sure he got jacked way back when he got cast as Gordon, like Commissioner Gordon.
maybe, like, I don't know.
And no, because I remember seeing like a photo of him at the gym when
Hmm.
he was, supposed to be, because he was supposed to play Commissioner Gordon for like a while, but
Right.
that didn't really happen. But he was like, pretty big then. But this whole movie, he's been pretty much in a tank top. He was huge. I'm like, this guy's like 60 or something. I was like, oh snap.
Yeah, he's really gotten jacked over the last little while, right? And yeah, it might be just because of that. I found it funny though that this movie does have quite a few just comedic actors, like sort of sprayed in here, like Sam Richardson. There's comedian Mike Mitchell. Just the two to
Yeah,
mention it, right?
the guy that was on Brooklyn Nine, he was like on an episode of Brooklyn Nine
Yeah,
Nine.
yeah, yeah. And Chris
Kevin,
Pratt. Yeah, Chris Pratt
no, not Kevin.
is
Whatever. Kyle.
in this movie. His name is Cowan.
No,
But
no,
are you talking
I'm
about
thinking
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Brooklyn Nine Nine. He was like a mob boss's like cousin or nephew or
Okay,
something.
yeah, 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 yeah. And like,
I'm like, oh,
Chris
Kyle, and he's like,
Chris
yeah, just like
Pratt
that. That's how
is
they
is
say.
pretty much a comedic actor too now, or at
Mm-hmm.
least started out as a comedic actor. So I kind of was expecting a few more jokes, but there wasn't that much. Even with Sam Richardson, I thought there was going to be a little bit more, but what are you going to do, right? Let's go into what did you think about like the action sequences and like the just because the movie sort of starts off, as any regular movie would, kind of slow. Then you get into this like quick pacing of
Mm-hmm.
action, and like they're in the future, and then it comes back, and they're back into the present day.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't need to show us that, like that opening where they just drop in the pool and then that's it. I was like, you didn't
Oh
really need to
yeah,
show
yeah,
us
like
that,
the cold
considering
open.
with yeah, that was dumb because within like 5 minutes they showed us time travel anyway. Like it was like 5 minutes. The opening scene, they're in the house at the party watching a soccer game, and for some reason they
Yeah.
show up at a soccer game. I was like, what? This is
Also,
this is it's supposed to be Christmas. I'm like, is there soccer around Christmas?
there is, but not international. Usually,
Yeah, I was like, who's watching soccer? And it's in the States because they land in the States.
yeah.
I was like, what is this? I was like, why not the Super Bowl? Or
Around Christmas time, it could have been football, like specifically soccer.
yeah, and I was like, why Christmas again? Like like it was
It's
Christmas, right? Wasn't it?
it's because they did soccer because of the fact that they don't have to pay for any NFL rights, and
Yeah,
they only
maybe.
had to pay for the rights of one team because they only used one national team's logo. So they used the Brazil top,
Yep.
right? and the other team that was playing against Brazil was they didn't
Just a
show it.
made up team.
It was just like they didn't
Oh,
show. They didn't tell you what the team was,
I was like,
right?
yes, it's just a made up team. That's
And
even
like
better.
and like with the and like if they did NFL, I feel like you'd have to spend the money and get like an actual NFL player in the movie at some point, like spend that money. But you
Of
know,
course.
they figured why do that? We could just say it's soccer and it's fine.
Yeah, see that and that. I guess there's where you save the money on a $200 million movie.
There you go. There you go.
But
Yeah.
besides that, I thought the action scenes were pretty sick. You know, I actually didn't mind the final fight between, you know, the Chris Pine, J.K. Simmons, and the alien. I thought that was pretty good. You know, I thought, yeah. Again, like
Well, it
I
just
thought,
the final fight just like we've watched movies and we've run into these action movies where the final fight ends up being something where it's just it it's so easy for the hero to win,
mhm,
right? And at this time you didn't you thought, you know, they were going to get out of it. It was a suicide mission at some point, right?
mhm.
Because, you know, he's kind of already established the future or whatever, right? Unless, you know, the female of this alien species is a can reproduce without the males, or she has eggs that have already been like, you know, fertilized or whatever it takes for her to do what she's got to do to continue the
Yeah,
species.
they never really say if
Yeah.
these animals give birth or lay eggs or.
Well, the way I kind of gathered it was that, you know, they were, at least to me, it seemed like they were like bees in the sense like protect the
Yeah, because
queen
they
at
kept
all
saying
costs.
hive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Protect the
Oh,
queen
they
at
kept
all
saying, yeah, protect
cost.
the queen.
Yeah, or the female. They
Hmm.
never even said queen, but it just seemed like it was like a sort of a hive mentality where the males are just drones and a
Hmm.
lot easier,
Yeah.
and then the females are actually the ones that are way more aggressive, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's like real life. Um,
So
but
much aggression.
yeah, I mean, so I felt there were a couple things like there were some dumb plot holes though. You know, there were
Oh yeah, you had
like
a good point on this, or I'll point
you
on
know,
this.
we'll like not even talking about the time travel, like which I actually like the rules about, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But like for example, going from the end, there's only a handful of them at the base,
Yeah.
right, where these creatures are, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they decide not to call the government. They're the only people who know where these creatures are, and they decide not to get anyone involved because it would be a mess or something. What are you talking about? There's
They,
5 of you, and there's a
yeah,
whole race of aliens. So that was dumb. I
but
was like,
it was also like, why rush this now?
exactly. You have 30 years. Why don't you exactly go home, let the government know, get an army, like literally a battalion, and then send them all in. But no, they're gonna handle it like this little small group of people with one guy who hid from the aliens, but still took one out in a pretty badass way with the chainsaw. That was kind of cool.
You know what I
Um,
thought? It's as though they saw that Zack Snyder had the guy with the saw in
the,
Army of the
the
Dead,
power saw
the
or
power,
whatever.
yeah, and they're like, that's cool. He's holding it. Let's put that in the movie, and they actually used it
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to that Zack Snyder movie
I'm
where
sorry.
they don't use it.
Look, I don't get it. Some people love Army of the Dead. and like love Zack Snyder right now. Army of the Dead is the most, like we've talked about on the show already.
Yeah, we've already done it.
But it is
It's
so
not good.
boring to me.
It was
It's
not
so
good.
boring.
It was not good.
This is like a no-brainer movie. You can sit back and just watch some aliens get destroyed, watch some people get killed, whatever.
This was a cool action
watch some
thing.
stuff blow up.
It was a cool action movie. I thought a lot of the fight sequences were great. I just I'm watching it and then I'm start thinking, well, like, because he doesn't want to go back to the past, right? Because he wants to try and save his daughter. I'm like, well, if you go back to the past and prevent this all from happening, you do save her. You do.
But so this is where we're talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
All right. Lay it on me, big guy.
So, okay. Again, smarter people than us, you can probably lay out a better, you can give us a clear explanation. But look, so although I appreciate the way they laid out the rules of time travel in this movie, and they didn't break them either. Like there was there was nothing. There was
no loophole or anything like that. It was what it was.
So my question is if they prevent what happens in the future,
right?
That means the people in that future never come back.
Nope.
And get the people from the past. Exactly. So if they never got the people from the past, the people that from the past that went and died in the future would have never been recruited in the first place to go in the future. So do they come back to life? But then also that means if the future doesn't happen, they don't get to come back and prevent it. It's one of those things. Like I think they did it on the Big Bang Theory, where they're like, you can't go and talk to yourself in the past because then you wouldn't go do it in the future or something like that.
Yeah, it's a paradox.
So yeah, because his daughter is gonna grow up and it's gonna be a different future.
Yeah,
but that means that the other people never would have come back here. That's what I mean. See, now my brain hurts and I don't understand.
Well, see, the thing is again, now we're getting into trying to solve an actual paradox here, right? But the people that come into the future, then they're the version that is here in the past. When they die, they get erased from existence anyways. So then the version that doesn't come to the past continues on their merry way with their life.
Yeah, that's the people that don't come to the past. But what about the people from the past that went to the future that no longer exists? What happens to them?
What do you mean? But the people that went to the future, they're already back. Yeah, when Chris Pratt comes back.
Like all the people that before Chris Pratt that went, because they said they already lost like 1 million people or something like that.
Oh, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
Does it though? Because no one says that they got resurrected. Exactly. See, now your brain just went, I don't know. Your brain's like, I don't know. Exactly. Oh. Exactly, though. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, they've already died.
But they wouldn't die because that future doesn't happen. Exactly.
That's what I mean. That's what Chris Pratt ruined it.
That's what I'm saying. That's when you get into this time travel stuff and your brain starts to hurt. So you're just like, nope, just don't think about it. Those people are dead. And
yeah, I mean, it becomes an issue of just, again, it's the whole paradox of, did they die or are they still here, or are they just erased from existence? They just don't exist. They cease to exist.
Exactly. Ridiculous. I'm just saying. But that's the problem with time travel movies, though, in general. Like, especially if it's like
okay,
or whatever.
How about this? By Chris Pratt and those guys killing the aliens in the year 2020. Mm-hmm. Now it's an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
And the future continues differently. But those people that had gone back in the current timeline, well, they're gone.
Yeah. No, and that's
right?
fine. That makes sense too. If
But
it's like it is,
but I
they
feel
never
like,
say it's a alternate
but they don't have
reality.
to, because the whole point is, I feel like now with the way time travel movies have been coming out over the years, it's a given.
Sure. Yeah. It's just a given. Damn you,
It's a
timeline.
given. It's a given.
Damn you.
It's
Damn
just a
you
given.
all
It's
to hell.
damn you. Damn
You
you
blew it up.
all. You bastards.
So
You blew it all to hell.
also, how come one little thing of C4 destroyed the whole ship and killed all the aliens?
Oh.
Like I don't know how much C4, like I know C4 can like
I
destroy a lot, like that's supposed to be a crazy explosive or whatever.
uh,
But that's it? Like one guy destroys the whole ship,
I
kills
mean,
all, and why did they do that in the first place then?
maybe it was just one cargo bay. And yes, why didn't they just do that? It would
Like
have
literally
it
just
would
throw
have
it down the shaft.
exactly said it like that. That's the thing. All right. This whole like toxin or whatever becomes inconsequential the second they realize that not only are they cargo, but they're in a state of hibernation. So they don't have, like, the second they realize they're already on the planet, they don't really have to use the toxin.
Well, like they do though, but it doesn't make sense if C4 does the
Why?
job.
But that's what I'm saying though. The fact that, destroying the ship as well as these creatures, does it was different.
Yeah. Also, why didn't they use the tox? Like, first of all, if C4, like for example, if C4 didn't work and just they had to use the toxin,
Hmm.
why didn't they kill the queen first? If she's the deadliest one, that's the one you get in their sleep,
So the
not some
movie can happen.
randoms. I know, and that's
So the movie can
that's so
happen.
them. I know, I know.
So they can have that end fight between Chris Pratt, J.K. Simmons, and that alien.
There was one part too in that fight. I thought Chris Pratt. I thought his arm was getting eaten off. I'm pretty sure he had like the thing bit his arm, like he had his hand inside its mouth or whatever. And I was like,
That's like
"How
right
is
at
his
the
arm?"
end how he gets the how it gets this toxin in its face.
Yeah, it's right around then, but still, like the thing bites his hand, like his arm, like his hand is in its mouth all the way up to his like elbow. I was like, any other time that would just
How's that arm not gone? Yeah, it should have been
yeah,
gone. It should have been just like, yeah.
yeah. He should have been Michael Ironside, like Ironsided right there,
Excited.
And he's got like his one arm.
Michael Ironside.
Yo, in so many movies, you know this. He loses an arm or both arms or limbs. Like he always loses arms. The Machinist, Total Recall, Starship Troopers, again throwback.
Oh man, it's true though. It's so true.
Good Canadian guy though. Represent.
This movie needed Michael Ironside.
I think any movie needs Michael Ironside. I'm just saying. He's been around for so long. He's a legend.
Michael Ironside needs to be in like everything.
Yeah, I want him to do the voice of Darkseid again. That's what needs to happen.
He should.
I'm just
He
saying.
should.
He's so good.
He needs to do more.
It was crazy because you like now you get into with the movie. So his future daughter is played by Yvonne Strahovski, who I thought she was great.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in anything since like Dexter, but I know she's on like Handmaid's Tale or whatever. But she says to him, "Why do you think I brought you here?" But I was like, did you really bring him? Because he was getting, like, everybody was getting drafted. Everyone in the world. They literally said, it doesn't matter who it is. So I was like...
It might have been, why do you think I brought you to the research facility? As opposed to having him deployed again.
Maybe,
right? Because if you go thinking about it, like Sam Richardson's character gets deployed again, and that's where he goes and hides, and you don't see him for his time in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I got the sense that she meant, why do you think I brought you to the future? That, like, the way it was worded in the context, that, because I thought it's because she wanted his help,
right?
Like, either way, it makes more sense. Just, why do you think I brought you to the research facility? Because you're smart and you can help me figure out a toxin.
Why not?
I don't know. Also, again, if you have a toxin, oh, and this is, I mean, oh, it's so weird. Again, it's like something else. The aliens have to die from a virus, like hitting close to home. But couldn't they make it like a gas?
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Why not use it? Why not make it sort of like a gas as opposed to, have it be injected?
Yeah, because regardless, you're not going to inject a billion, like however many aliens. Like, I don't know, thousands at least.
Again, they could have taken say 5 years. Chris Pratt and his team could have taken the 5 years to develop this and have the job done in seconds. And nobody dies.
It's just like, okay, we made the toxin. What
and
are we gonna do?
Nobody dies. But here's the thing, though. Yeah. The only people that die at the end of the movie, in terms of the team that goes to Russia, are the people from the future.
Yeah, why not?
Because if you think about it, Sam Richardson, he survives. J.K. Simmons survives. Chris Pratt survives.
Yeah, it's just that
they're currently in their own time.
Yeah, it was just the one girl, and then the guy that was gonna die anyway.
Right, he's the only one from his own time, from their time.
But he was gonna die in like 6 months. They said.
Yeah, he had 6 months to live, anyways. So, yeah, and I think there was like another future person, but that's what I mean.
Oh, it's possible.
Everything was sort of wrapped up in a neat little package. Right?
Exactly.
So I like, you get to this point in this movie, right, where everything is going, and there were moments where you thought, oh, Chris Pratt is gonna eat it. He's done for it, right? I mean, this is one of the few movies in a long time where you feel like the protagonist is actually in some kind of danger, and you're like, and you don't have that feeling of, oh, it's just a movie, so he'll be fine type of thing, right?
I mean, after that talk she has with him, saying like, you left us and you died, and
yeah,
I was like, okay, so there's no way he's gonna leave them again. Like,
right.
As soon as she said that, I was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. The only thing I was surprised of is I thought J.K. Simmons was gonna die.
Yeah,
I thought he was done
to end it, but obviously they didn't. I think it would have been all right to end it like that too.
I think it would have been too, but again, it's like, you're never meeting your granddaughter. Okay,
he's gonna have to meet her at some point.
He'll meet her. It'll be fine.
Another thing too, I want to bring up is that I felt like Betty Gilpin was kind of underused, and I know you were saying she's not like that big, but I mean, she's big enough, right, that she could have been given a little bit more to work with, instead of just being, this wife character that's in it for 5 minutes at the beginning of the movie and then another 2 minutes near the end of the movie.
But she cracked the code that apparently no one else figured out in 30 years. What if they didn't land there? What if they didn't land at that time? Nobody else in the history of the world thought of that.
She's the smartest person on the planet.
So there you go. She wasn't underused. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Chris Pratt was supposed to figure that out, and they were like, you know what? We got Betty Gilpin here. Let's give her something else.
Let's let her do something.
All right. And it's like, okay.
We didn't let her kick ass like she does in The Hunt or Glow. So let's let her be smarter than the average bear.
Exactly. So she's like, well, maybe they're not. Maybe they came early. Oh. You're such a genius. I love you, honey. And that was it. It was beautiful.
She figured it out.
It was a cathartic moment between the two of them.
She figured it out.
She's a genius.
And then they boned for 6 hours straight.
Yeah, there was just a scene missing.
Yeah. It's like the best scene of the movie, and they cut it right out.
Poor little Murray was traumatized. I was like,
they made her what?
Poor little Murray. That was an odd choice of a name, I gotta say.
Murray? Like Muriel?
I don't know.
Maybe Muriel?
Because Muriel, I don't know. It could have been Muriel, but I feel like that didn't make sense because that would be more of a Jewish name.
So?
But they were celebrating Christmas.
Fair.
So that's what I mean. Like, it wouldn't make sense.
Maybe Betty Gilpin is Jewish.
She conformed?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, poor Betty Gilpin.
I
don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. Muriel.
Maybe they just like the name Muriel. Do you think it's Jewish just because of Family Guy?
That's the only reason it's Jewish. And I'm half Jewish. I don't know. I don't have an Aunt Muriel.
Or Miriam.
No, that's Miriam, not Miriam.
Oh, I don't know that.
Exactly. Or Miriam, but not Miriam.
I don't know that.
Doesn't mean like...
I don't know.
It sounded like, hey, what should we name this girl? I don't know, Murray. Did you say Mary? Murray. Murray? Not
close enough.
Like Murray. Sure. Like that. Like, yeah, okay, sure. But
maybe it's like a it's like a Billy D. Williams thing where they just mispronounce the name. Yeah. Maybe it's Mary, but Chris Pratt's like Mary. Hey, Hanold buddy.
Hey, Hanold buddy. Or how like
Hanold buddy.
Or like
what's up, Chewbacca?
Or how like Cleveland says terrible.
Terrible.
Oh, Peter, that's terrible.
Terrible. Oh, that's nasty.
Oh, Peter. You're what the Spaniards call El Terrible.
Terrible. That's terrible. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add, or I take that as a no. All right.
Not really. I mean, like I said, there was some things that were kind of.
This is a thing, and it's. I find when we like a movie, it's actually a lot harder to be a bit more subjective.
No, but it's not that. I think we've talked about some of the things that didn't work. I actually didn't mind some of the bad CGI. Maybe I just didn't notice it. I'm not looking so hard at it.
I would say that I felt like the storyline or like the whole emotional connection was enough that you could overlook something like questionable CGI, and it wasn't that bad.
No, also,
you know what I mean? Like we've seen worse over the years, right?
Oh yeah, Why did he dive off of the platform to go get his daughter, who was already dying, while he's holding the only toxin that could shatter? Why did he do that? Was it just for the shot?
Peter Quill syndrome, bro.
Because why are you gonna like?
Peter
She's dying.
Quill's dude.
She bleeding. Like she's bleeding hard.
It
she
becomes
gets dragged off.
It literally has become a Chris Pratt trope where he's the hero, but he makes a glorious mistake that could cause the end of the world. And this time they got around it with time travel. All right,
like it would have made more sense.
Just like the last time.
It would have made more sense if he was being chased. Like if all of a sudden there was like an alien behind him and he had to jump off, like, you know, or he fell or he jumped or whatever, because like, not because he's going to save his daughter who is dying already.
Like, I don't understand, but that's what I mean. It's like, dude, just go to the past and solve the problem.
Yeah.
Then you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's again, like,
fine.
But I guess that's what it is. Like, there's these little plot points that I was like, that was dumb, but I enjoyed the movie. Like, this is not a movie where you have to be like, I'm going to think everything about logic about this film.
Yeah, this movie allows you to forget logic for a little bit and you get to enjoy it.
It doesn't take itself seriously. Yeah. Like, that's the difference. I feel like Army of the Dead, which is the closest movie to this in like this year, I guess.
Well, I'd say
that movie tries to be almost, I don't know, it tries to make this emotional journey in a zombie movie.
But nothing happens.
And nothing happens. And even the journey itself is not that entertaining.
No.
And then with this, it's just like, look, we got to go to the future and kill some aliens.
And you actually get to see, but that's the difference. With Army of the Dead, there was very little actual action sequences. There's like, what, 2?
Maybe.
2.
Maybe.
This, there's the 2 big ones, but there's the sequence the second they get to the future, which is intense. Then you have a little bit of a lull. And then again, you're into another sort of, the pacing sort of changes in between. And you get all these other instances of, you know, action, slow down, action, slow down. So the movie is paced a lot better than, say, Army of the Dead.
Yeah, because it doesn't stop. Like, it doesn't stop that long.
Yeah.
Also, why did they land 10 feet in the air when the initial people that came back in time walked?
I think it was a mistake. I think something went wrong.
No, but no matter what, she said, prepare, you're going to land about 5 to 10 feet in the air. And instead it was 100, like whatever. Because, again, they didn't really even talk about that, just they fell from the sky, and luckily they survived landing in a pool. Luckily. Hell, Chris Pratt had a dude land on him, and he was still fine. But
I'm surprised that he had no broken ribs.
Yeah, or a broken face. Like, I don't know. But yet, coming back in time, the people just walked onto the soccer field. Couldn't even let that team score. Ridiculous.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah. But again, nitpicky, still fun.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, friends, now we've come to the point in the show where we rate these movies out of 5 ginger snaps. And Josh, good buddy, how many ginger snaps do you give The Tomorrow War?
1,000.
Only out of 5. And this movie was beyond not even perfect.
I'll go with like a 3.5, maybe a 4.
Any specific reasoning, or just because?
Again, I think it's because I didn't know what to expect. I heard bad things about it. I really enjoyed it. I shut my brain off. It was a fun movie, that's it. It wasn't trying to be. There was no like agendas or politics. It was just like, let's watch aliens, and there it is. And I was like, I'm on board.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 4 at this one, and yeah, it does feel like reminiscent of like an old school action movie that we kind of grew up with, right? Where it was just, hey, this is the issue. Hey, let's go shoot it up. Right. And that was a lot of this,
Yeah.
right? It was also like it had a very Independence Day vibe. It had a very Starship Trooper vibe, which again, these are all movies I really like. I like a good time travel movie, and this, my friends, at least to me, is a good time travel movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's not much more to say. I mean, the movie is fun. It's enjoyable. And yeah.
Yeah. If you go in watching it with a critical eye, like that's the thing. We've watched movies, I guess, of this caliber.
Yes.
There was just something about it. Like Chris Pratt is a good lead. He's charismatic. He's fun to watch on screen.
Yeah.
And again, the pacing was fine. I don't know. This is one of those. It was just fun, and if you like this kind of like shoot 'em up aliens, I think you'll like it.
I honestly thought it was better. It was better than a lot of movies of this type of genre that like out of the few that we've done. I feel like this is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like Army of the Dead is the closest comparison I can think of. And that movie was just they can't compare. Right? They just can't compare. So Josh, where can they find our socials and good stuffs, good buddy?
Folks, if you're following Gingerflix or listening to this podcast, be sure to look out for us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all at GingerFlixPod, one word, and always spell with that X, because X marks the ginge.
Marks the ginge. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. For Gingerflix, I'm Joey.
And I'm Josh.
And we'll catch you again soon. Oh!